Have you ever wondered how public sector tenders are run? Knowing how buyers approach tenders can be a huge advantage when writing a bid, because you can target the main motivations and priorities of your buyer to maximise your tender score and hopefully come away with a new contract. This video covers the process of how buyers conduct tenders and what to look out for to help you score better in your responses. There's a lot that happens in the background before you see a tender opportunity go live. Public sector buyers, like local councils and NHS trusts, are under scrutiny to spend taxpayer money properly, and they don't want to waste any of it. Remember, they're wrestling with budget cuts and reduced government support. There's a lot of bureaucracy and protocols to follow, as you can imagine, so we're just going to summarise the main steps here. 1. Business case. This is an internal report, sometimes published on the council's website, which details what they plan on buying and why they need it. It usually sets out the reasons why the council needs this new contract. If it's a construction contract, the report will refer to the council's priority to build new affordable homes. If it's a social care contract, it will refer to the population's needs and the council's obligations as a local authority. If it's an IT contract, it will likely describe how the new contract will improve efficiency and modernise the organisation's IT systems. This report usually asks for money, a budget to pay for the new contract. For councils, they'll be asking permission from the elected councillors. For schools, universities or NHS trusts, it'll be a dedicated board voting. Once approved, the procurement team get to work, along with the teams who will be buying the contract and managing it going forward. Check out your local council's public meetings, which should be available online. Here, meetings are recorded, minuted, and published to show the public the decision-making process in action. You may be able to spot opportunities before they're even published to get insight into why the council wants the contract. 2. Procurement route. There are 3 principles that govern how contracts are awarded: open, fair, and transparent. Open to all businesses, not just the companies the council already has business with. Fair in the scoring, so no advantage is given to one company over another. And transparent in how the tender will be scored and what's expected of suppliers. Public sector buyers can't just roll over contracts with the same supplier forever. Contracts need to be competed to test the market and get value for money. The procurement team are there to help find the best route to market. Frameworks are often the first port of call. Buyers will look to see what frameworks are available and whether they can award directly through a framework without having to run a tender. This is preferred because it's so quick and the framework process itself has already established that the suppliers are qualified and capable. If there's no framework option available, or the framework isn't appropriate in terms of pricing or services, then the buyer will look to tender it themselves. RFQ, or request for quote, is an option for lower value contracts, where quality isn't as important as price. This means a short list of suppliers are invited to quote and the best price gets the contract. 3. Tender documents. A stakeholder group comes together, usually the procurement team, business leads, finance, legal and IT, to write a specification or statement of requirements which articulates what the supplier must deliver. This will be published in the document set of the tender. Tenders are scored on price and quality. You can see our video about it here. Quality questions are written and weightings given, and full guidance also forms part of the tender document set. 4. Publishing. All tenders these days are conducted electronically. Usually these are through a procurement portal. These are basically websites with inbuilt software to help buyers manage the tendering process, including messaging, publishing notices, and hosting a contract register. Buyers can use whatever portal they want, and there's plenty of different ones to choose from. Check out your local council's website to find out which one they use and get yourself registered on it. You won't be able to submit a tender if you're not. Notices of the tender opportunity are then published, usually on 2 key and free websites: Contracts Finder or Find a Tender. Links are below. 5. Clarifications. Once the tender's live, you can register your interest to access the tender documents and then ask questions. There's usually a deadline to raising a question, so check out the tender documents and remember the date. Answers to all clarification questions will be published publicly to all suppliers, so you can see what others have asked and everyone has the same information going into the tender writing stage. 6. Scoring. If you're submitting, you have to do so through the portal. This is where you attach documents, fill in questionnaires and sign declarations. The procurement team will make sure submissions are compliant, i.e. all the mandatory parts of the tender have been met. Then, a panel of key stakeholders are chosen to score the bids. They will read through your submission and give each question a score. Often they will meet after scoring to moderate their scores and agree on a final score for each tender submission. The highest scoring bid will be awarded the contract. 7. Contract award. Finally, the contract will be awarded. Due diligence checks will be carried out, running financial checks on the winning bidder and collecting insurance documents, policies, certificates, etc. The contract award notice will then be published and suppliers will be notified of their scores. Remember, if you don't win a tender, you should always ask for feedback. See where you lost out on marks and factor this in when writing the next one. The final contract is signed and the winning bidder starts delivering. So that's it in a nutshell. Key takeaways. Keep an eye on public meetings where decisions about contracts are made and get a head start on upcoming tenders. Register on your buyer's procurement portal. Subscribe to contract opportunity notices on Contracts Finder and Find a Tender. Remember, they're free. And use feedback to improve your scores. We're experts in bid writing, having won almost 30 million in contract values for our clients over the last few years. If you'd like to get a quote, see what we can do for you, or just ask a question, email us on info@frameworker.co.uk or check out our website www.frameworker.co.uk.